同学们好. So 27th of September. So last week we did parry, block, and punch and apparent closing up. Today we'll review that, and then we'll do cross hands and closing, and do any review, and do a little bit more review of the first section. And then next week we'll start reviewing the second section. Before we do that, let's just do a few minutes of standing practice. And normally when we do standing practice, you know, I have my arms up like this, but if you want, you can keep your arms down. You can actually, Kelly calls this holding a bag of apples. So if this is more comfortable for your shoulder, that's fine. You can just be like this, or just whatever position is comfortable for your shoulder. Standing practice, feet shoulder width apart. So first, bend your knees and just sink your weight into your feet and check your weight is even on your feet front and back, and then also on the inside and the outside. So the weight is solidly down on your feet. Now round the arms and keep them down here if you wish, or bring them up to chest height if you want. So let's just do a couple of minutes here. We'll do our posture checks. So head is extending up, lifting up the crown of your head, and the rest of your body from the neck on down is sinking. So head lifting, rest of the body sinking. Shoulders down, elbows down. Feel a weight on, little weights on strings on your elbows, dropping down. Fingertips are about fist width apart from each other. Next, absorb the chest, and to do that, feel your elbows extending out away from your shoulder blades extending away from your spine. And go back and check that your shoulders are still down, because sometimes when we extend the elbows out, the shoulders go down, the shoulders go up. And then relax the waist. So drop the hips straight down. So we've got those four: head up, shoulders down, elbows down, absorb the chest and round the back, and relax the waist. Feel the weight on your feet. Check that you are still even front and back, and if necessary, tilt forward at the hips slightly. In other words, when I say at the hips, I mean the hip joint, to make sure that it's even. And check your breathing. So breathing in and out, if you can, through the nose. Breathing in, your belly expands. Breathing out, belly contracts. And this breathing will correct our posture. So use your breathing to find the right angle of your hips. So tilt your hips forward a bit. You'll feel your breath tightening. And release a bit. Now stick your backside out. You'll feel your breath tightening again. Bring the backside down so that the back of your spine, your lumbar spine, is straight up and down. Okay, and let's do a few minutes in bow stance. So shift your weight to one side, open the other toe to the corner, and step forward into a bow stance. And come forward, chest towards the front, arms in front of your body, so the gap between your fingertips is in the same direction as your front foot. Head up, shoulders sinking, elbows dropping, absorb the chest. Relax the waist and feel the weight on your feet. Feel that you're pushing towards the front with your back heel, and you're pushing towards the back with your front foot. So feel the forward and back, dung and chung between the feet. Let's change to the other side. Shift your weight back. Bring the front foot to the back, 45 degrees, step out, shoulder width. Come into a bow stance. Again, feel the weight. So you want to check that your feet are flat on the ground. The front foot, left, right, front, back, and also the back foot. Also check that your hips, that your tailbone is centered along the line, the parallel line through your heels going to the front. Head up, shoulders down, absorb the chest, relax the waist. Your torso is tilted forward in line with your back leg. And as you're in this position, keep checking that your feet are both pressing into the ground and that your head is lifting up and everything from the neck on down is sinking. Good. And we'll just do that. So bring the back foot forward and release. Okay. So shake it out. We'll do the whole of the first section just as a warm-up. And then if you have any questions about any part of the first section, we'll talk about that. And if not, then we'll go into reviewing the stuff we did last week. So let us begin. So we are in prepare, feet shoulder width apart, legs straight but not locked, head lifting up, arms hanging straight down, middle finger on the center of your thighs. And again, do your posture checks, head up, shoulders sinking, chest absorbed, waist relaxed, weight evenly on the feet. I will just call the movements without any cues. Opening. Grass bird's tail. Left ward off. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Transition to single whip. Single whip. Raise hands. Step forward. White crane. Spreads its wings. Left brush knee. Hand strums the lute. Left brush knee. Right brush knee. Left brush knee. Hand strums the lute. Left brush knee. Step forward, parry, block and punch. Apparent closing up. Cross hands. Closing. Back to original position. Stop. Okay, there we are with the first section. Any questions about any of that? Anything, any movement that you'd like to focus on, or any questions? Nope, not right now.
Yep.
Good, but at any point
Right.
interrupt and we can address them. Good. So one of the things I'd like to start with before we get into the review of parry, block, and punch and apparent closing up is just to review a couple of exercises with you. So this is I'm gonna go through, show you an exercise which is a hip opening exercise that we did at the beginning. If you have a chair, if you need to hold on to a chair, just get it. Don't be proud because we're going to be standing on one leg. And this is really not a balance exercise, but if you can stand on one leg, that's fine. So this is a hip opening exercise. So stand on one leg, hold on to something if you need to for balance, and then open the hip. Drop the leg, bring it up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just do 5 on the side. Let's try the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let me just point out a few things about this exercise. The reason why it's good to do a hip opener, when we get to the second section, we'll be doing diagonal flying quite soon, which is a movement where we start with one foot to the corner here, and we actually step open to the other side. So our feet are actually 180 degrees apart, and we want to gradually open our hips to get there. So this is good. But even in parry, block, and punch, we need to have enough hip opening that we don't damage our knees. So for example, when I'm doing parry, block, and punch, I'm starting in a bow stance, open the front foot, step through center line to sides. You can see that my back foot and my front foot are 90 degrees apart from each other. And if my hips aren't open, I'll be collapsing my knees in, which is not good for the knees. You want the knees pointing in line with the toes. So that's why we do this exercise. When you do the exercise, one of the things to be careful is that as you open the knee, you're opening the hip crease, you're opening your groin, and you're not pivoting on the standing foot, because that means you're actually twisting your knee like this. So what I end up doing when I'm standing and I'm not holding on to something, I actually put my fingertip on the standing thigh just to remind me that this thigh doesn't go anywhere. So let's do 5 more. So let's start on the one side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you can see is that not only helps you open the hips, it trains, when we're doing kicks, we gradually want to get this standing leg higher and higher so that ideally it's above the horizontal here. So this actually also strengthens the muscles that lift the leg. And so gradually one can get this leg to come up higher and higher. Good, so that's an exercise. And so what I do, start like 5 and 5, and then another 5 and another 5. Once you're comfortable with that, do 10 and 10, then do 15 and 15, and gradually work up so that your standing leg gets stronger and your hips open. Any questions about that? Okay, good. So then the next thing I want to just review another little exercise. We did this at the beginning of this section, and I want to review it again, is the arm circle, because we do a lot of open and close in the form in general, but particularly in the first section. So let's just start standing, feet shoulder width apart, bend the knees. So start with, I'm going to imagine that I am mirroring you. So this would be your left arm. If you're looking at me and you're holding your palm up, this would be your left palm. So we start with the left arm up. We go to the side. You can see palm forward. The arm rotates, palm back. The elbow is up and the palm is back. And then we close here. Now it's like holding a bag. Open, palm back, elbow up, rotate, palm forward, elbow down, and close. So open, rotate, close. Open, rotate, close. We can also do it on the other side. So if you're mirroring, this would be your right arm. So open, so palm forward, elbow down, rotate, down, rotate, and close. Rotate and close. Yeah, what I'm seeing you're doing, which is really nice, is just to remind ourselves, when we do this rotation, the arm is rotating in this plane here. So we're not flopping it down from palm forward to palm back. It's coming in and rotating in the plane and coming down. So Rogelio, you're doing that really nicely. So that's good. This may be a challenge for you, Lorraine, given what you're dealing with right now. And so what we want to do, and the reason why this is a nice exercise, we want to have this really smooth movement so that as we come up, this rotation never stops. As the arm moves, the rotation is continuous. Now add the other arm and we'll do two arms together. So open, let's just do a freeze pain. You can see that the top palm is forward, the bottom palm is back. Rotate. Now top palm forward, lower palm back, close. Open, close. Open, rotate, close. Open, rotate, close. Now, as you close, I want you to turn your chest so that the upper palm is facing forward. So your right palm should be up. So right palm, and you can see your chest is to the right side. Open. Now your chest is coming to the other side. Close. So my left palm is up. My chest is pointing to the left corner. Yes, very nice. Open. Rotate. Close. Open. Rotate. Close. Now, pause for a moment. One of the things I want to just point out is that you'll see that my arms are at an angle. So they're not horizontal like this, they're tilted like this. Yes, very nice. Yep. So the palms are tilted. And the other thing to watch out for, both of you, really nice, the lower palm is rounded. So this arm is rounded. The upper palm is what we call sitting. So there's a slight flex. If you can put a flex in your wrist like that, very nice. Good, Rogelio. So let's try that again. So we're starting with the left palm on top. So open, rotate, close, and turn the hips. Open, rotate, close. Open, rotate both arms, close. Open, rotate, close. Now we're going to add something. When we close, we're going to step out. And then we're going to go into ward off right and ward off left. So open, rotate. As you close with the right arm on top, step out with the left foot. Now, just bring the left foot back. Open, rotate, close. Step out with the right foot. Open, rotate, close. Open, rotate, close. Now we're going to finish this and go into ward off. Open, rotate, step. Now move forward. The lower arm comes up and we're into ward off. You'd be on ward off left. Now shifting back, the front arm comes down, the front leg goes back, change, close and step, ward off on your right. Back, close, step out, ward off, left. Shifting weight back, front arm and front leg go back, open to the side, close and step. And we'll just finish here, circle the arms down and finish. One of the reasons why I'm very fond of this movement, it's a great way to practice the upper and lower coordination, but also it helps strengthen my legs because I'm stepping backwards and forward. I don't need a lot of space. I'm just going backwards and forwards, and I can practice my posture. Good. So that's what I wanted to cover there. So let's do parry, block, and punch. Let me first check. Any questions before we go on? No. Okay. Parry, block, and punch. So I'll start in that we would be facing in the same direction. We have done handstrom lute and left brush knee. So we're in left brush knee, left foot forward, bow stance, right arm striking out. So right arm is horizontal in front. Oh, let me go back a bit. Okay. Parry, block, and punch. Shift back weight, lift the left arm to 45 degrees. With body turning, turn the left toe to the corner, left arm rotates. Both arms swing down as you step through center line to sides. As the heel touches, arms to the back. Shift weight forward onto the right. Arms are forward. Step through, the arms separate. Left arm forward, right arm to the hips. Shifting your weight forward into the bow stance, punch. Do that again. Left bow stance. Shift weight back to halfway. Open the left toe, rotate the left arm. You're still looking in the forward direction. Both arms circle down as you step through center line to sides, right foot to the right corner, arms to the back left corner. Shift your weight onto the right foot, second parry. Step through with the left foot into a bow stance, arms open and punch. And again. In a left bow stance, right arm striking, left arm by the left thigh. Shift weight back slightly, open the left toe, left arm rotates. Both arms circle down, step through, heel touch, keep circling, second parry. Step through, arms separate, block, and punch. Before we do that 3 more times, I just want to remind you of a few things which I can't say quickly enough while we're practicing. So the first thing is, when we're in the left bow stance, here, and our first movement is this transition, so we shift our weight back and turn, so that you'll see that this is a body turning. So my waist and my hips are turning my knee, my foot and my arm. So you can see there's this movement. My hands are either side of the center line here. Then both arms are going to circle down and I'm going to step center line to sides. When my heel is touching, my right heel is touching, my both arms are out to the back. Now I'm going to shift my weight forward to do the second parry. So when I'm in this position where your right arm is diagonally in front of you, your left toe is probably still just touching, but like 90% of your weight's on the right foot. The left hand is just opposite the right forearm and a little bit back. So here. Then from here, we're going to separate the arms as the left leg comes through. So step. When you root with the left hand is doing the block here and the right hand is pulled to the hip. So a little bit lower, Rogelio. So a little bit lower with your right fist. Yes. And make sure that your chest is sinking so that you're not like this, but you're like this. That's looking good. And then pushing with the back leg, flatten the foot and punch. And the ending posture is the left palm is opposite the right forearm center. And this, check your spacing. It's about fist width. So it's about fist width away. So not up against it and not over here either. So about here. Yeah. And you want your right arm, Rogelio, the camera may be misleading, but the right arm is straight out into the forward direction from your shoulder. It's not this way, it's straight out. Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. You're probably looking at a screen somewhere off to the side. Okay, so let's.
Yeah, you see
Yep.
me looking left. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Okay, so let's do that movement again 3 times and see if you can just remind yourself of those things and lock them in. So we're in a left bow stance. Parry, block, and punch. Shift weight back. Left arm comes up halfway. Rotate the knee and the arm with body turning. Both arms circle down. Step through heel touch, looking to the back corner. Second parry to the front. Block, root, and punch. Again, left bow stance. Brush knee left. Parry, block, and punch. Shift back your weight. Lift the left arm with body turning. Open the left toe. Rotate the left arm. Re-establish the weight on your left foot. Moving your weight in the direction of your left foot. Circle both arms. Look to the back corner. Root. Looking to the front. Second parry. Arms separate. Forward, back. Root with the left heel in a bow stance. Shifting your weight forward. Pushing from the back leg. Punch. Couple more things. Remember, with the arm movements, the parries are like a figure 8. So the first one is going to come down, keep your palm more or less level, then it's going to come around again on this diagonal. This is your second parry, and it comes down to the hips. So it's down, down to the hips. One of the things that we don't talk about a lot, but I just want to remind you of, is the gaze. So generally we look at where the leading arm is. And so for this movement, when we begin, we open, both arms are still in this direction in front of me, so I'm looking in that direction. When my arms swing, my gaze follows the arms to the back corner. So both arms are now to this back corner. I'm looking in that back corner. As I now come back to an opponent here, I'm looking to the front and my gaze stays in the front all the way through. Good. Any questions? Let's do apparent closing up and then I'll just see. Yes,
Question.
please, Rogelio, go ahead.
So you say that the punch is straight ahead and the left hand also hit straight ahead, but if they have to be waist away, that means that you move when you punch, you move your left hand a little bit to the center, so they're sort of close. Yes,
that's a lovely question, Rogelio. Yeah, so let me just, so the question is, how does the left hand move to get to this position?
Right.
As I mentioned last week, what to think about with this left hand is somebody's punching to you and you're deflecting. So that's what this movement is. It's actually deflecting a punch away from your center line. That's the meaning of it. But what's interesting about it is that the left arm does come across the center of your body a little bit, but not very much. So let's just review that detail. So so I'm here. I'll just go through the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I circle. My left arm is going to do roughly what it does in brush knee. So it's going to circle to the back. It's going to come in front of my shoulder here. So you can see it's in front of my shoulder. I'm going to turn my shoulder and it's going to block out. So now my left palm is in front of my shoulder. As I come forward, you can see it moves, as you said, slightly across. So it's moving a little bit this way. However, the thing that is cool about this movement is it doesn't move forward back very much, because what you're doing is you're blocking somebody's shoulder and then punching them. Their shoulder isn't going to move. So let's just review that. So from here, I'm going to come to here. So I'm to here. So I'm going to block here. Now, if I'm doing this right and I come forward, you'll see that my left hand doesn't move in space. It moves relative to my body. You can see that my chest actually closes, but my hand doesn't move. My hand is actually attached to the opponent. So actually my hand doesn't move. It's actually my body comes forward to meet it.
Okay, I think what I was doing my punch approaching the hand, but I was moving the hand away, so that's why I ended up crossing the punch.
Yeah.
So I think of
Yeah, one of the things that we see in many of these movements is that a movement actually is almost like a shorthand or a collection of many possible applications, and sometimes we merge them together. So, for example, if you think about strike tiger. So this is in the second section. So I've done a right heel kick. I'm going to do strike tiger to here. Actually, there are two applications for this hand. One is somebody's punching and I'm deflecting, but at the last minute it turns into a fist because I'm also punching. So I'm actually showing two things here with this hand. In the same way in parry, block, and punch, I'm showing a punch. Who knows what this arm is doing? And I'm showing a deflect. Who knows what this arm is doing? But in this movement, we show them together.
Right.
Okay, let's do apparent closing up. So apparent closing up, I'll keep moving around as I do it in case you're checking, comparing to what I'm doing. So apparent closing up, let's start like this. We finished parry, block, and punch. So we're in a left bow stance, right arm forward. So the first thing we do is with body rotation, yield forward. The left arm comes to the side, the right palm opens. Now right comes to the left comes to the right forearm comes over the center of the left forearm as you shift your weight back. Weight is now 70% on the back leg. Turning the body, rotate the arms. Arms are now sitting in front of your chest, pushing out with the back leg. Now you're in push. Just exactly the same ending position, push at the beginning of the second section. Let's do that again. So we've done parry, block, and punch, left bow stance. First, yield forward. The left arm goes to the side, the right arm opens. Right comes to the left comes to the right, shifting your weight back. Sit back, pulling the right arm over the left forearm. Rotating both arms to sit them in front of your chest, quite low, but shoulder width apart here. Make sure your elbows are open. Pushing forward into push. This side. We're in parry, block, and punch. Shift weight forward, left arm shuttles open. Now turning your body to the right, left under the right, sitting back, pulling back. Rotating the body, rotate the arms, palms sit in front of the chest, shoulder width, pushing with the back leg, pushing forward into push. A couple of things to just remember here. One is when we begin, imagine somebody's pulling on your wrist. So you let them pull you. You yield a little bit. And as you yield forward, the left arm opens. So it's this movement here. And actually, the right hand starts opening. So you're yielding. Now, when the left arm comes under the right, it comes under the top of the forearm. So it goes under here. Then the right goes over the left and pulls down. So it's actually from the right, the left arm goes from the back to the front. From the back to the front. Then the last thing is, as we've done this movement here, your arms are like this. You're going to rotate both palms and just sit them in front of the chest. So really, this is quite a small movement. Both arms rotate. Make sure that your palms are sort of in front of the lower ribs and they're shoulder width apart, and then you're going to push up. Let's do that together. We've done parry, block, and punch. Yield forward, weight, left arm to the left, right fist open. Shifting your weight back, shuttle the left arm under, pull the right forearm over the left forearm. With the waist turning, sit the hands in front of the chest and push out. Starting in parry, block, and punch. Yield forward, left arm goes to the left. Now right goes left, left goes right as you sit back your weight, stripping your opponent's palm. Rotate both palms in front of the chest, push forward. Let's do that again. And so they'll just call out a couple of things I'm seeing. So shift forward, left arm goes to the left. Left under right, sitting back. So your left palm is in front of your right shoulder. Now just rotate both arms and rotate your body. So you're just going from this position to this position. Yes, that's nice, Lorraine. And then push out, going forward. Yeah, excellent. Any questions about that? Let's finish and then we'll practice and I'll have a look. I want to do cross hands and closing. Cross hands, let's review that. So we've done press and push. So we've done this apparent closing up. We're in push here. Pushing back with the left foot, body turning, right arm deflects to the right front corner. Rotate both arms. This rotation is the movement we just practiced earlier. Rotate both arms, bring the back foot in, right arm behind the left, crossing in the middle of the forearms, lift both arms. You're in cross hands. Make sure that you're crossing in the middle of the forearms, not at the wrist. So try and close it a little bit here. Yes, that's nice, Lorraine. One of the challenges for this movement, or it's a great place to practice shoulder down, because it's so easy when we're doing this cross. It's like, oh, your shoulders right up. So remember that your shoulders are down here. Your head is up. Let's do that again. We're in the left bow stance. We've done push. Pushing back with the left foot with body turning, rotate the arms and connect out to the right. Shifting your weight back onto the left, rotate both arms, drop the arms, the right foot lands as the arms cross. Lift the arms up. You're in cross hands. Check that you're crossing at the center of the forearm, not at the wrist. Right arm in front. Yes, very nice. Good catch, Lorraine. So a couple of things I just want to talk about. When we do this movement to begin cross hands, it's a lovely movement because it really shows one of the essential principles, which is coordinating upper and lower. So coordinating upper and lower, you may remember it says, the energy is rooted in the feet, generated in the legs, distributed through the waist and shows up in the arms. We see this here. So I'm starting here. I'm going to start pushing with my front leg and turning my hip, my waist. My waist is going to turn my foot. So I start pushing, start turning my waist, my hip, and that's going to turn my foot in. It's also going to turn my shoulder. So as I start turning, you'll see that my hands actually, both of my hands rotate. And actually, it's sort of cool. When you're pushed like this, you begin and you start that rotation. It's like you're making a triangle with your fingertips. You'll see as both arms rotate in, they almost make like a triangle. So let's do that movement. I'll face in this direction. So we're in push. Yep, nice. And torso leaning forward in line with the back leg. Very good. So pushing with the left leg, rotate the body, rotate the arms. Check if you've got that triangle shape. Now circle the right arm to the front right corner, shifting your weight back, rotate the arms, drop the arms. As the arms cross, the right foot touches down, lift the arms up. Check your posture, head up, shoulders down, waist relaxed. Do it again. We're in push. Pushing with the left leg, with waist rotation, start rotating the foot and the arm. Arm makes a big circle to the corner. Rotate both arms as they drop. Close the feet. Cross the arms right behind the left, and then they rotate. Tai Chi magic, right is in front of the left. Yes. When you are in cross hands, we call this a double ward off as well. And so when you think about doing the ward off, for example, when you're doing right brush knee, in this posture, the camera is a little bit misleading, but my palm is about the same height as my shoulder here. Palm is about shoulder height, and you can see my elbow is a bit lower. So when I do cross hands, I want it the same height so that my palm is in front of my shoulder, not too high and not too low. So yeah, that's nice. That's very good. Good. One more time. We've done push. Shift weight back with body turning. Rotate the arms. Bring the left foot in. Rainbow to the corner. Rotate both arms at the side. Come in. Lift into cross hands. Yep. So let's just practice something. So we've done, what I want to do is we're going to do this circle, and then we're going to do this rotation. So let's just start here. I'm going to open. Now I'm going to rotate to here, and then the arms drop. So I'm going to start here, open, rotate at the side, and drop. That's really nice. One more time. Yeah, I love that. That's good improvement. So open, rotate at the side if you can with your arms straight, drop them, and they lift. Yeah, lovely. That's looking great. Now, let's do, because we can treat the first section as a form on its own, let's do closing. Because there's some interesting subtleties about closing. So we're in cross hands. We're going to do closing. The way we do closing is as we straighten our legs, both arms come forward. Both arms are forward. They're still inside the shoulder. Then they rotate at the shoulder, and then they press down to the hips. We pause here for a couple of breaths, and then we put the hands by the side and then we pause for a couple of breaths just to make sure our breathing is good before we get up and walk around. So the small thing I want to underline is we're going to start in this position. The arms are going to go forward and they're going to rotate, right? So they're going to go from palm up to palm down. We have a circle. Because we like to have everything as a circle, we don't just rotate the palms with the arms out straight. We don't do that. We want to have a circle like this. So we want to start here and then circle, but we don't want to have our palms outside the width of our shoulder. So I'll show you what we don't want to do. We do not want to do palm shoulder width. Now I'm doing a circle outside the shoulder, and then I push down. No, what I'm going to do is close, but you can see my palms are inside the shoulder. Now the circle stays inside my shoulders and I push down. It's just a fine point that Master Yang Jun has added in the last few years. Just makes it look slightly nicer. The size of the circle, I think of it as like a small melon or a big grapefruit. It's, you know, just enough that there's a circle, or a pineapple or something like that. Okay. Are
With
there any?
that,
Yes.
probably a twisting arm movement.
It's a whole arm rotation.
Right, but I mean in terms of the application, you could
Oh,
be
I
someone's
don't. Yeah, I don't know of. I don't think of this as a grip. I think of it as just, you know, coming back. So, for example, one of the applications. Let me see if Susan is here. Yes, Susan, could I borrow you? Susan very kindly said she'd sit here just in case I'd needed to ask her to do something, and here she is. Thank you, Susan. Okay, so we're just going to do. You're going to come towards me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to deflect down. Let's come to like here. I'm going to deflect down, and then I'm going to push. And you can see this is in a very different position from here. But the way I think about it is I'm going to deflect her away and rotate. So this actually is coming from push. So from here to me having this energy point. So the energy point is actually shifting from the outside of my forearm when I'm deflecting down to the palm when I'm pushing out. So let's just do that one more time. So I'm going to deflect down, then push out here. It doesn't directly answer your question, but that's the best I can do, Rogelio, unfortunately.
No. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's find uses for it, but that's one, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. What I'd like to do now is just watch you do the movements, parry, block, and punch, apparent closing up, cross hands, and closing. Just do those on your own time a few times, and I'll watch you, and then I'll give feedback if I see anything. Just a couple of things I want to mention. Do either of you, would you like me to mention your names, or should I not mention, just be generic? Some people don't like to be called on, and some people do.
I prefer if you do mention what I did wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing is with parry, block, and punch. There's a couple of things on parry, block, and punch. The first one is the opening of the left arm. So when we are here in parry, block, and punch, and we open to here, I think I'll go to here. So Rogelio, this is one for you. Nope, this side. So I'm lifting here. The left arm is just going to drop down. I think you tend to lift up the left arm and then go down. So once you're here, everything just goes down. You don't have to prepare and then go down, everything just goes down. Another one, next one is with the right arm. So Lorraine, I'd like you to think about the right arm is, when you're coming to the front with the right arm, it's ahead of the left. So it's ahead of the left.
That was me too?
No.
Ah, okay.
No. Yes, so let's do that movement together. So let's say we are in left brush knee. So up, both arms circle down. Now, as the arms come forward, the right hand stays in front of the left until your weight is on the right foot. Then the arms separate with the right arm coming back and the left arm going forward. So it's forward to here and then they separate. Down, the left stays behind the right and then they separate. Yes, like that, Lorraine. Very nice. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Yep. Good. Then one for you, Rogelio, is it may be the camera, but what I'd like, you really are doing the Young style really well, which is the nice big movements. But try and when you move your body around, try and move it, rather than move your arms, try and make it a waist movement that's moving the arms. And so that way, the arms stay a little more contained. I'll show you the example that I have in mind. It's at the end of parry, block, and punch. So here, circle down to here. Now watch this right hand. It's just going to come down to here. It's not going to come wide. It just comes down to the hip. And in fact, you can see my chest turns as it comes down, and then my chest turns the other direction as it punches forward. So think about the arms being, they separate and then they punch. And just make sure that the position of your fist, this may be, it looks a bit like a style, a habit. It looks as if your fist is at the top of your hip, whatever you call, I don't know what you call this part of this bone, the hip bone. It should be lower. It's roughly where your leg bends, where your thigh bone goes into your hip bone. So it's more this height than this height. It's more down here, just pulling straight down. Okay. Let me see. Yep. And that was from the push. Yep. We've actually practiced the circle a bit, and I think both of you have really got that circle nicely. Let's just do from cross hands to closing a couple more times to try, and what I'd like you to focus on now is smoothing out the edges. So do it as one smooth movement rather than out, up, rotate, and then down. Just do it as one movement down. So let's start in cross hands. Closing. Palms go forward to the center, legs straighten, arms rotate. Then with the legs straight, push down with the palms. Legs are straight at this point, finishing with the palms in front of the hips. Yep, again, knees bent, cross hands. With the legs straightening, arms come forward, rotate the palms inside the width of the shoulder, and then pressing down. And they finish in front of the hips. Pause for 2 breaths. Hands by the side of the legs. Pause for 2 breaths and stop. Good. Any questions before we finish? Thank you for practicing with me. Let us do a few announcements. 同学们，再见。